quick before. Welcome to tonight's royalty team training. You got a good one tonight because it's centered around what many people join the royalty movement for. They join because they want to better their credit. They want to take their credit from where it is now to wherever they want it to go so they can qualify for the things that they want to qualify for. So we're going to do a whole Q&A session for those of you who have questions, who are not scared to ask questions, who are not scared to put yourself in a position to make this year one of the best years. You make the most credit progress. And of course, you got your host, yours truly, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. She far away, so she couldn't chime in with me, but you got Mr. Smith. I'll be knocking out a lot of the credit questions that you all have, if you have any. And this call, depending on how many questions you have, will determine the length of the call. So get your questions on standby. Don't hesitate to ask questions, regardless of what it is. No question is a bad question, but it's all about credit education and Q&A. So, babe, you said you got me on the reading the question in the chat, or you want me to put it up on my end?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so we got one question that's in the chat. You can unmute and ask your questions when I give you the opportunity to do so, or you can type it in the chat if you're not in a position to ask the question out loud. Let me say something real quick. I just turned it off. I had it on just for a second. All right, you posted right there? I got you.
I'll see you.
Yeah, I got you. All right, let's get into the first question. Let's dive in. You finna read it, or you want me to put it up?
Oh, it's already put. Oh, you just said it.
She's multitasking.
Okay, so Olivia said, okay, so once we've done all the steps in fixing our credit, is it necessary to get credit cards to build our credit rather than doing something else to build it?
It depends on your profile. So that's a very good question. So she's saying she basically has completed all of the steps and wondering whether or not she should do things like get a credit card or get multiple credit cards in order to build her credit. I would need to know a little bit more. So if you can unmute, that'll be perfect. But if not, what does your profile look like currently? Do you currently have any credit cards? That's going to be important to know. Do you have any credit cards? Do you have any open accounts, such as car loan, personal loan? That's going to be important to know. So I just start with those two questions just to not ask too many questions. But let me know if you can unmute. Perfect. If not, just go ahead and put it in the chat. No and no. So no open accounts, no credit cards. Okay, perfect. So if you don't have any open accounts that you're paying on and you don't have any credit cards, I know for sure you're leaving at least 165 points on the table per bureau. Because if you do not have a credit card, for those of you who know or don't know, credit cards are responsible for the category known as credit utilization. So you got 5 factors when it comes to your credit: payment history, credit utilization, credit history, credit mix, and new credit. Credit utilization is 30% of your score. That's up to 165 points per bureau. So if you do not have a credit card, then you're leaving that amount of points on the table, bare minimum. Now, if you've already started taking those steps, this may be a good time to get into looking into a credit card because it serves multiple purposes. It helps you establish some new credit. It also helps you establish some good payment history when it comes to you making on-time payments, but more importantly, it fulfills the gap of credit utilization. So I would recommend you getting a credit card, starting with one. Now, if your credit score is above 600, then I would recommend it's a pre-approval. And if anybody needs the link, I can dig it up and put it in the chat. But it's a pre-approval card that's provided by Capital One. And the reason why, Capital One is one of the main ones I lean on is for 2 reasons. Number one, the pre-approval that it has built into it positions that credit card to not hurt your credit like a typical inquiry would, because they're going off of a couple of other data points. So that's number one. Number two, when it comes to you getting a Capital One card, whatever you get approved for might be on the low end. So that might just be your credit card that has a $300 balance. However, Capital One has deep pockets. So if you're paying the credit cards off like we instruct, then what happens is you position yourself to have them to increase your limit every so often, because you're using the card, paying it off in full, and knowing when to pay it off, paying it off before they report to the bureaus. I'll elaborate on that if necessary. But if you use the cards like we teach, then they'll be increasing your limit. So yes, to answer your question, Olivia, based on what you said, since you don't have any of those open accounts, continue with whatever process you've been going down, but you will need to get you a credit card. And if your score is over 600, then I recommend that Capital One. However, if your score is not above 600, then you might want to take the prepaid credit card route. And you want it to be one that reports to all three bureaus. I have another link for that if you want that access to where it's a prepaid card that you can get, or a secure card, not prepaid, my apologies, erase that. A secure card, because you're putting the money up. You can start with as little as like 200 bucks, and you start building that credit up just to establish the habits associated with a credit card. So those are just two options depending on what your score is. If you're 600 plus, that Capital One ought to get you in the game. If not, then the secure credit card would at least start building up that habit so that you can get yourself to where you're able to get an unsecured card like the Capital One I was talking about that you can just apply for, get approved, and you'll be good to go. So hopefully that answers your question. Let me know if y'all need those links that I was just mentioning, and we'll go from there. So Olivia, let me know if that answers your question. Let me know if you see any other questions that pop up, or if anybody else has a question, you can feel free to unmute. And maybe that sparked the question, because I know I covered a lot just then.
Okay, so she said, yes, they send her cards in the mail all the time. She said it makes sense. So there's nothing else, like maybe taking a loan out, or would that be a bad idea?
Great question. So we live in a day and age now where you don't have to get a loan in order to build credit. Because we have things like fintech, where it's new age ways to help you establish credit without going into debt. One of the things that I started to tell you, and this could still be a benefit to you, would be to open up a self-lender account. It's a link to that in the back office. I got a link that I can send. But what it does, for those of you who may not know, self-lender allows you to save money while building credit. You never lose the money. You can save as little as like $25 per month. And each time you make that $25 payment or deposit, or however you want to look at it, it counts as a payment, and it counts as an on-time payment, which helps your payment history. But it's positioning you to go towards getting a secure card, because once you make those on-time payments for a certain amount of months, they say, okay, let's take the amount of money that you had that was built up into this account, and let's roll that over into a secure credit card. So it serves two purposes. But as far as you getting a loan, unless you absolutely need to, because you're finna get a car or something and you wanted to, get a loan for it, unless you just needed to, I don't recommend it, because if you don't have to go into debt in order to build your credit, then why not? Let's take the self-lender approach, and now you're able to take $25 a month and build your credit. And they report to all three bureaus, and I've seen clients have great success using it. So another great question. All right, any other questions? I see Olivia says something. I think about it. What Olivia just typed one more.
Okay, I was thinking about taking a home loan out to get my first home soon, but I didn't know how to go about that. I'm with SECU Bank, and they have options for it, but I just didn't know if it would affect my credit or not, and or if it would build it.
Gotcha. So getting a home, it will have its impact on the credit. Initially, it may drop it, and it will eventually build it as well, due to the fact that it's a large purchase. But depending on what your profile is looking like, you might not necessarily be at that stage of getting a home, because it's a process. And I'm not sure if you've already gone through the pre-approval process to see what you can likely qualify for. If not, and you need access to somebody or entity that lends across the nation as it relates to pre-approval, we can connect you to a resource of ours that can help you as well. But long story short, the higher your credit, the more leverage you have, the more or the better loan that you're able to get. So depending on your score, you might want to let your score build up a little bit more before you go ahead and go about getting a home loan, and making sure you're already in position from a financial standpoint. Are you saving for the down payment? Are you in position for some of the things that come along with purchasing a home, getting an inspection, getting an appraisal, things of that nature? So those are some of the things you want to keep in mind, versus just, because getting a home loan is more than just about applying and getting approved. It's about being in a position so that when you get the home, you can keep the home. So we want to more so set you up for that. But if you're already ready, then that's a whole nother conversation. But I would personally, based on what you shared so far, recommend that you build it up some more, so that way you have a higher credit score, you can qualify for a better interest rate, and that way you get more bang for your buck. But you're thinking about it the right way. So set a goal to start getting in position for that mortgage, But definitely a pre-approval is one of the first things you want to do, because what it does is let you know how much home you can qualify for. Because with the pre-approval process, what they're typically looking for is a person who has at least 2 years of employment, at least 2 years of, something saying that they've been paying rent or living at a certain location for at least 2 years. Of course, some type of credit history as well, and or a couple of years of tax returns. So if you're self-employed, you might need 2 years of tax returns so they can see that you've had some consistent income outside of a job, or if you're self-employed. So it's a couple of factors that they're looking at in addition to your credit score, your profile, how that's looking as well. So make sure you consider all of those things, so that way when you go and get pre-approved, okay, this is how much home I qualify for. And now when you're going into the process of buying the home, you can stay under that threshold. And for those of you who do not know, we are licensed realtors as well. We got a nationwide network, so we connect you to people all over the place. And we're going to be doing some first-time home buyer type workshops. But one of the things that we pride ourselves in is when we bought our home, we bought it and we had equity in it day one, because we bought it a little bit differently than how most people advertise or market their homes. So with you being in the royalty movement, that'll be one of the things that we would encourage as well. Like, what could you do to buy that home and not be upside down? Like, I already have some equity in it from the beginning. So those are the type of conversations that we'll be having as well. So hopefully they help. I know I just said quite a few things, but it might have sparked a question for somebody. So
She did. She said facts. She said facts. Thank you. I needed to know that. Also, real quick before we get to the next question, can you piggyback on the credit cards for a person? Hold on, I wonder if they can hear me.
Real quick, can you piggyback on the credit cards and like the responsibility involved with credit cards? Because I know sometimes that credit card, it messes people up. So what's some of the responsibilities that come with that? And just more so talking about how a credit card is not an emergency fund.
gotcha. Okay. So when it You're muted. All right. So yeah, when it comes to the credit cards, it definitely requires discipline, number one. And we know personally how easy it is to get in a place to where you're using a credit card religiously, and then next thing you know, you realize, oh, this thing is used completely or used fully, and then it hurts your score, it hurts your cash flow because you're running it up for the points. You got to have some discipline, because initially, like when we first was just getting into the credit card game, we understood the importance of using a card, paying it off in full. I would swipe the card and had a cash on hand and go pay it off immediately. And what happens is, when they notice that you're the type of person who's not relying on their credit card money, basically they know that you're using it, paying it off, keeping it low balance. Low, by low, I mean either 0 or less than 10%. When they see that you're that type of person, what they do is, not only does it boost your score, but it also puts them in the mind frame of, okay, this person is the exact type of person we want to have access to a credit card of ours. Let's give them more money. So we went from having a credit card limit that might have been, let's just say it was 8,000. Then or let's say it was 4,000, and they bumped it up to 8,000. They took that 8,000, bumped it up to, double that. So they start giving more money based on those habits. So you want to develop the habit of using the card, paying it off, using it, paying it off, only using what you know you can pay off. That's the best habit to have. And for your homework, especially for any one of you who already have a credit card, and for those of you who will in the future, you want to find out as soon as possible, what day of the month do they report to the bureaus? What day of the month do they report to the bureaus? All of them will have some type of date. Sometimes they might say, oh, the statement date is this, but if you can get a specific date that they report to the bureaus, that puts you in the, in the winner's position. Because if you know that they're going to report on the 23rd, let's just say the 23rd of the month. Well, today is the 20th. You probably want to make a payment tomorrow to lower the balance as low as possible, 0 or less than 10%, preferably. Lower that balance as low as possible, then don't touch it. Let that, make sure that it reported to the bureaus, because if they're reporting on the 23rd, that's just in a couple of days. Now, when they report, it's going to report that you have a little to no balance. And then say you give it about a week without touching it. Now you can use the card how you choose, but every month before they report to the bureaus, you know that you need to get that balance low. And if you make that a habit, then it'll position you to not be terrified of credit cards, scared to use them. You'll be able to benefit from the increases that they'll give you. You'll definitely be able to benefit from the high credit score that you'll get access to just by using that in a way that's strategic versus just running it up and using it as an emergency fund, like the Queen was saying. So just some things to keep in mind, but find out when they report to the bureaus, and that'll put you in a position to have control of your credit card versus it having control of you. Great question.
Great question. All right, so Brianka said, to get an open car loan off my credit report, do I send a dispute letter to the actual loan company, or do I just need to send to all 3 credit bureaus?
Gotcha. So I'm not in the business of deleting or disputing open car loans. Like if you got an open car loan, meaning that you're driving a car, you're still paying on the car, then just continue to pay on the car, and that's keeping you in a position to keep building your credit. So I know sometimes when people think of credit repair, they're thinking about removing all of the things that they currently own and just excusing themselves of the debt altogether. That's not the place that we come from. So what you want to do is just pay it as agreed.
He got repo.
Oh, so it did get repo. So it's not open. If it's repo, it's not open. And if it's on your credit report as open, then that's an error. That's an inaccuracy. So yes, you would indeed dispute it regardless. If it's repo, you want to dispute it using the normal letter flow that's available inside of the back office with the letter. So basically you're taking letter number 1, sending that letter, waiting 30 to 35 days, letter number 2, sending that letter. And now you're positioning yourself to get that thing removed, because a repo is just like a collection or just like a charge off. They pretty much got the vehicle back. Now that they had a vehicle back, they either wrote it off as a loss or they resold it in some way, shape, form, fashion. They was compensated because they got it's a certain word I'm looking for, it'll come to me, but they got the actual car, which serves as the attachment to the money, and they might still sell the car. So they've gotten what they needed to get out of it. So definitely I recommend disputing it, but use the normal flow. Use the normal flow and use the letter. So if you haven't already sent your first letters, then definitely include the repo in that, because it's just like a collection, just like a charge off. It's one of those delinquent items that it's kind of easy to find errors based on how poor the records are of the bureaus. A lot of times they don't keep good records when it comes to collections, charge off, because they put it in the hands of someone else. It's usually not in the hands of the original lender anymore once it goes to that status. So definitely dispute it the normal way.
Okay, good. I don't see any other questions, but I did ask one myself. I'm trying to make sure everybody knows where to find the letters, because I know that's a really big one. I had one person respond and said, yes, Brianka, make sure you let us know if you know how to find the letters, because that's very important. I don't know how new you are. So if anybody needs us to show you where to find the letters in the My Credit system, go ahead and speak up.
Somebody said yes. I don't know if they're saying yes to wanting to know how to find it.
I think they said yes to knowing
what does this come?
where to find.
So somebody said, is it in MyEcon?
That's Brianka. All right, so let's show Brianka where to find the letters.
So you absolutely, it's in MyEcon. Everything is inside of MyEcon. Definitely dive into that back office. All right, let's see if I can work this Apple device in. Got all these pop-ups, but we got a lot of comments.
This whole call is about MyEcon.
Absolutely. So let's see if I can.
Max, did you think?
Now it's more of a table thing. I want them pieces loose. The Rubik's race. All right, all right, go ahead and get logged into your site.
Oh.
No, because I don't want all those loose pieces up there, because they're gonna be all over the place.
Did you hit share screen? You know.
Not yet. Not yet.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to get it up first. All right, we're getting it pulled up so y'all can see the back office. Everybody needs to know how to access this. All right, what's the
other question? If you have an eviction, are they still able to collect what is owed?
So they may sue for it. They may do some type of lawsuit, so they can attempt to collect. But if it's an eviction, you know, you still can go through it through a couple of different measures. So for them, you can say they send some type of lawsuit like they're trying to collect. Depending on the situation, say they sold it to another creditor, you can send that creditor a validation letter making them validate the debt, because in many cases they may have sold that account as well. So now they're not able to prove that particular eviction belongs to you. So as a result, you can get it removed. Also, when you do those credit freezes, that can help with that, because some of the accounts that we have you to freeze are associated with how they keep the information or keep up with the information of people having evictions on their profile. But yes, they still have the right to try to collect the money, but you still have the right to make them prove that that particular account belongs to you, because sometimes they're doing things unlawfully, sending off or mailing or sending that information off to somebody else, selling it off, taking tax deductions. Sometimes they're doing that as well. So I still recommend using the system. But if you receive something from them, send a validation letter to make them prove that it belongs to you. And that's also in the back office as well. We'll show you where that's located. Turn the camera off for a moment. Yeah. All right, drop a 5 in the chat if you can see the screen. Drop a 5 in the chat if you can see our screen. This is the 5. All right, perfect. So all we did was log in. Everybody who logs into MyEcon, this will be the first thing that you see. This should look very familiar. As soon as you get into MyEcon, you should know how to access this day one. Very important, because otherwise, how are you going to get a return on your investment? Because if you join, the number one thing you should be trying to do is seeing if the system works, seeing if what you're investing in works. How can you get a return on your investment if you don't know how to at least log in and you set up the password? So it's going to be very important for you to tap into this, because we're not of the mindset of, oh, you just joined and that's the end. No, we want you to join and get a result. We don't scam over here. We want you to join and get a result. But the only way for you to get a result is for you to log in and take the action. Because I promise you, this works. People have used this same system that you have access to get perfect credit, 800 plus, 850. You know, so that being said, if they've used the same system you have access to in order to get 800 plus credit, then why not? You use it as well. So you can be in that same position, but it all starts with you tapping in. That said, you see the My Credit system front and center. That's the DIY credit program. Of course, there's other things associated with MyEcon that can help you overall better your finances, but many people join for credit. So we want to get you a return on your investment as soon as possible, because once we make you a believer in knowing that the credit system works, now you're like, okay, what else can I do with this thing? Who else can I help with this thing? And now we expose you to the other things that have come along with it. But as you can see, the My Credit system, all of the videos, the duration in full is just 24 minutes. 24 minutes, 24 minutes and 33 seconds total. So it's not a lot of time. Most of y'all probably watched that on social media today. When you tally up all the reels and the shorts and the TikToks, you watch 30 minutes of content today. And that's probably on the low end. Watching all these little funny videos, that's cool. We do it sometimes too. But make sure you're watching something that's going to feed you and, more importantly, help you hit your goals. So if credit is a goal of yours, then make sure you cut out that same time, use that same energy to watch this information. The only difference is you're going to take action after you watch the information. So you got the welcome to My Credit system intro video. Then it goes into step one, pull your credit report. So everything is step by step. You don't want to skip around and say, I just want to go ahead and start disputing. So let me go ahead and go down here and start the dispute process. So if you jump to step 4 just because you're ready to dispute some stuff, you're going to miss something. It's in the numerical order for a reason. Step 1, that's where you start. That's all about you pulling your reports and understanding how to pull your reports, understanding what it is that you can use to your advantage to take your credit to the next level. Now, I know we said we're going to show you the letters, but I just want to stress the importance of going through it step by step. Freezing the secondary bureaus, like the person mentioned the eviction. A lot of times, the eviction is not listed directly with the credit bureaus. They got it from a third party. And those third parties might be the very companies that we have you to freeze. It might be ARS. It might be Innovus. It might be LexisNexis. It might be SageStream. So you just never know. And then we have a whole list of some of the other consumer reporting agencies just like these that you may also freeze as well. Now, I know a lot of people are not going to go through all of them and freeze them. But say, for example, you find out, oh, they're reporting evictions with this third party as well. So not only do I want to freeze the ones that's listed, let me also see how I can find the information to this other company I just found out about. And you might find it on that same list, and you can go through the same process and have your information frozen or put in a position to where they can't release your information without your permission, because that's the purpose of it. The purpose of freezing it is to keep them from releasing your information without permission. because that's what they're doing anyway. So now you put a freeze on that, and now that positions you so that when you do dispute, you increase the chances of getting it deleted because you got the middleman out the way. Very important. Then step 3, checking for errors. This is important because it's only a certain amount of things that help you get things deleted. Finding out what's on your report that's unverifiable, finding out what's outdated, finding out what's inaccurate, also known as an error. Now, don't get caught up on, oh, that was my account, yada, yada. You want to use the discrepancies to your advantage. If the laws say that errors should be removed or updated to positive, then use that law to your advantage. We know you might have had a hiccup at some point back in the day, but the laws say, the consumer laws that govern the whole, credit program or the credit, industry, it says that the credit bureaus need to have their records intact. It means that things need to be accurate. If it's showing that it's a actual collection or a repo, but it's showing up as an open account, that's an error. If the last activity date is off, that's an error. If the balance is off, if the date you actually opened the account is off, that's an error. So you use the errors to your advantage, and you learning how to look through the errors on here positions you long term to know how to go about finding those common credit report errors that you can use to your advantage and increase the chances of getting things deleted. Now, step 4 is to start the dispute process. This is where all of the letters are. We have a whole system that can allow you to start the dispute process digitally using our software, or you can print it out and just edit it. But here are all the letters. You got the identity dispute letter, the inquiry dispute letter, and the credit dispute letters 1 through 5. For most people, you're going to start with the credit dispute letters 1 through 5. Most of the questions that we get inside the group, the answer is usually yes, start with the letters credit letters 1 through 5. And that first page, whenever you download this, that first page has thorough instructions on how to go about mailing it. It lets you know exactly what you need to do. Don't skip over reading that and just jump straight to the letters, because it's all there. Once you read that first page, you'll know, oh, this is how I need to go about sending my letters. I need to send it certified. Oh, I need to get it notarized. Oh, I need to mail it this way. Oh, I need to get rid of these red areas and replace it with my information. Step by step. So you go through this method. This is where all of the letters are that you'll need. You see the debt validation letter. When I said something about the eviction, they may have sent it to or sold it to another creditor or sent you some in the mail trying to collect. The debt validation letter is good for that, because you can send that directly to the creditor. As it states, debt validation letters are letters sent directly to the creditor or collection agency. This letter exercises your rights under the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. This letter is different from the 4 dispute letters that are sent to the Credit Reporting Bureau. So it addresses it in a different way, hitting up the creditors and or the collection agency and basically saying, hey, you said you said I owe this, proof. And if they cannot prove it, then in many cases they are supposed to remove it. So use these letters to your advantage. They work. Goodwill letter, that's just for a person who might have something that they're not trying to delete, and they just want to update it to positive. They just want to remove the late payment, because not everything should be deleted. People ask all the time, hey, I got this closed account. Should I delete it? Well, what was the closed account? I was a car note. I paid it off. So you mean to tell me you had this car for 5 years, you had 60 good payments on time, and you want to delete that account just because it's closed? That's probably not a good idea, because you had at least 40 plus. If you didn't get a repo, you had at least 40 plus positive on time payments. So that's worth something. So I wouldn't recommend deleting that. But if it has some late payments associated with it, then you can send you a Goodwill letter. And in many cases, negotiate getting that item updated to positive so that it reflects that it wasn't late. And that can help your score tremendously as well. Then this is what I typically call the last case scenario letter, the pay for delete letter. This is when you have a collection or a charge off and you want to pay to go ahead and get it removed. You're like, forget it. I don't want to send no letters. I just want to go ahead and get it removed. And say the amount that you owe is $1,000. You make an offer and say, hey, if I pay $300, will you delete it? They may agree, because they really just want to collect. They just want to get something. They may agree, but you want to get something in writing before you pay a dime. Otherwise, you'll pay it, and many people do it. I paid out my collection and didn't affect my score, because they played you. They just reached out and said they wanted that you owed this, and you got your taxes and said, you know what, let me go ahead and pay this collection off. You got nothing in writing, so they didn't do anything but collect. They didn't have to delete it. And the reason they have to delete it is because they didn't get anything in writing, and that's important. So the pay for delete letter does just that. Pay for delete is a negotiation strategy you can use to have negative information removed from your credit report. These are the 4 sample letters that you can use when negotiating. So it has some sample letters that you can use, but this is what I consider to be a last case scenario, because in many cases, these letters can get the collections removed without you paying a dime. But the pay for delete letter is just like, all right, forget it. I just want it off. Let me pay a little something and get something in writing that says they have to delete it. Now, it may be a chance that they won't delete it, but at least you got that proof that they gave you an agreement that they'll delete it. Now you send that to the bureaus and boom, they get it deleted. So use these letters to your advantage. Then we talk about removing medical collections. A lot of the medical collections are falling off anyway because it's a violation of HIPAA laws. And then, of course, if they're not responding, we got the 30-day no response. So you're equipped with letters, all the letters that you need. Plus, I got 100 letters just because I have access to more letters based on me doing credit for clients. So if it's any letter that you don't have or don't need, then I got a version of it. And I'm continuing to add to that list because I continue to further my education to learn more so I can help more people, help more clients, and help you even better. So whatever letters you don't see back here, your boy got access to them. So you can, reach out and I can plug you in and get you connected to that letter so we can see you make that progress. But this is where you access the letters into my credit system. Log in, go through it step by step if you haven't already. And if you haven't already and you're listening to the sound of my voice, set a goal to get those letters mailed out before the weekend. It don't take that long. We have people who joined, a particular day, and that night they sending out their letters because they're serious. They want to see some progress. They don't want to push it off again. And, days become weeks and weeks become months and months become never. And then they find themselves in the same position. So that being said, set a goal. If you haven't already mailed out your first letter, set a goal to get the letters mailed out before this weekend. I promise you these videos are short and sweet, and you've already watched more. You've been on this call longer than the video. Longer than all of the videos, you've already been tuned into this training. So I know you can do it, but set a goal to get the letters mailed out by this weekend.
All right, so I had a question. I don't see the name. It's an iPhone user. What about the gym memberships? Can we get them removed if they sold to a collection agency?
Absolutely, same process. Go through the same process because collections, treat them the same way. And the gym membership, I'm sure, so just go through the same process. I don't want to get too many details, but just go through the same exact process as you would letter number 1, letter number 2, and that should be pretty easy to get removed.
Okay, next question from Nichelle. Question: if a dealership overpriced the vehicle that wasn't in line with the Kelley Blue Book price and the vehicle was repoed, would that be considered an error, and could that repo be taken off the credit report?
The repo can be taken off the credit report whether or not they match the Kelley Blue Book or not, because it's a repo. I'm sure it's an error somewhere. Last activity date is usually going to be an error. Now, if you see that the price or the amount of the car does not match across all 3 bureaus, so say that one of the bureaus has it listed at the Kelley Blue Book price, and then another bureau has it listed at whatever the loan amount was, because usually it's going to be listed based on the loan amount, not necessarily the Kelley Blue Book, then you can dispute it based on the errors. But the reason why I say focus on whatever errors you can find, not necessarily the Kelley Blue Book, is because sometimes you just got, I forget what they call them, but it's a certain time, a predatory lender. You got certain predatory lenders that will take advantage. They'll sell you whatever they can, even if it doesn't qualify, or even if it doesn't match the value that they sold it to you for. That's just how they operate. And that's one of the reasons why going through like a credit union is good, and going through a bank, not directly through the dealership. For one, if you go through a bank or a credit union, is one inquiry. But with the credit unions, they don't typically play that. When it comes to them loaning money and they're using the vehicle as collateral, you better make sure they pretty much make sure, hey, now you can't sell my client this vehicle and it's not at least more than the value or equal to the value of the Kelley Blue Book. So credit unions don't typically pay that. So when it comes to the dispute of the repo, dispute it the normal way, but I'm sure you can get it removed based on just going through the normal process without even worrying about the KBB of the vehicle.
Okay, Brianka asked the question earlier about the account, the car being repoed. She said, I'm sorry, but I forgot if you said to send a dispute letters to the actual auto loan company or all three bureaus.
Bureaus. You can take the bureau route. The reason why you would send it directly to the auto loan company is if they sent you something, like they sent you something and they're trying to collect. And if so, you would do both. So say they sent you something trying to still collect, which wouldn't make sense if they already got the vehicle, but they could if it was a difference in the vehicle price and it was upside down, etc. So if you receive something directly from them, then you can send them the debt validation letter in addition to you sending the letters to the bureaus. And you're only sending it to the bureaus that the auto loan shows up under. So if it shows up on all three, you'll send it to all three. If it shows up on just one, you'll send it to just that one. So in the typical scenario, just the bureaus. If they sent you something in the mail, then it would be the bureaus and the creditors. Let me know if that makes sense. Let me know in the chat if that makes sense.
Because I got another question. I don't see it in the chat just yet.
All right. In the meantime, you can go ahead and go to the next question.
So next question. Okay, she said yes. From PS Tranquility. Okay, she said got it. Makes sense. When collection agencies are calling, what are the documents you request from them to prove the debt outside of the licenses to collect within your state and execution of signature?
Read that one more time.
When collection agencies are calling, what are the documents you request from them to prove the debt outside of the licenses to collect within your state and execution of signature?
Got you. So if they calling, I honestly wouldn't feed into the calls because it's kind of your word against theirs, and you mess around and admit to something just based on something you said that you didn't realize was a form of admission. But I would refer to the debt validation letter. If you look at that debt validation letter, it has all of the things that you're asking. You're wondering, okay, what all do I need other than the signature? That debt validation letter has everything that they need to prove to you to validate that that debt belongs to you. But if they're calling you, you need to be sending them their letter. If they're mailing something to you, you need to be sending them their letter. And then if it gets down, too far, you can always do a cease and desist, saying that you don't want them calling you, but you want a paper trail. That's the purpose of the letters. You want some type of paper trail to reflect your efforts in going through the proper measures in order to get them to validate it. If they're not able to validate it, then they got to delete it. And it's a lot of things that they're doing on the back end that's in violation. And when I really learned some extra stuff, sometimes they owe you money. $1,000, $5,000, just based on the things that they're doing that are unlawful. But I would go straight to the debt validation letter in that case, and hold them accountable using the paperwork to your advantage. Documentation beats conversation, so don't necessarily just hop on their phone when it comes to the collection agency call you. Hit them with some documentation, and that creates that paper trail.
Okay, good question. All right, Kiana, I saw your hand. Go ahead and unmute, Queen.
Y'all should be able to unmute. I don't think I said it to where you.
Hey, excuse me. So my question was about the pay for delete letter. So when sending the pay for delete, do I wait for a response back to make the payment?
Yeah, no. If they ain't told you they was going, if they didn't agree, then you don't pay no fee. If they don't agree, you don't pay a fee. Now you want to. If I was you, I would negotiate for something below the balance. So if it's $1,000 balance, aim low. I'll shoot them 200, 300, and see what they agree to. Because you'll be surprised, because many times they bought the debt for pennies on the dollar. And if they bought it for pennies on the dollar, then you paying 200 might actually still allow them to make a little bit of money, but you didn't pay the full 1,000, just in that example. But definitely get them saying something in writing, even an email. So when I say in writing, if they send something in the form of an email saying, hey, yeah, we'll agree to make the payment, or delete it and not add it back, whatever the case may be. You make sure you keep that for your records. Make sure everything matches, the letterhead, whoever you've been communicating with, make sure all of that stuff matches, but make sure they say that they're going to delete it before you pay it.
Okay, thank you.
Great question.
Okay, piggyback question. She said, also makes sense. Also, is it true that if your debt is sold to another company without your permission, that's enough to have it removed, especially if they are not allowed to collect within your state?
Yes, in a nutshell, it's true. But just to make it plain, it's really just based on them likely not being able to prove that the debt belongs to you. and it's probably going to be some errors or some inaccurate information because you didn't go into an agreement with them. So yes, but the true thing is there's probably a lot of errors, unlawfulness that took place in there, and they can't prove because you didn't go into an agreement with them. So when you hit them with the letters that says, "Hey, I need you to verify this," they don't have all of the documentation that would allow them to even verify it in most cases. So as it relates to that, you're likely to get it removed. So yes, to answer your question, but I just want you to know the reason behind it, because the main three things that get things deleted is something that's inaccurate, outdated, or unverifiable. If you stick to the code on that, then just about anything can be deleted, you know.
Okay. Awesome question. All right. I don't see any more questions in the chat. You can raise your hand or you can just jump out there and unmute since we have a small audience. So whatever works for you, y'all. This is your time to get them in.
I got a quick question because I was looking at my Experian report while I was listening to the call. One of my collections was updated. So should I just move forward with the next letter with that one?
Updated to what though? What changes were made when you say updated? What did it? How did it update?
I'm just not looking at it. It just I don't know. It just said updated, and it said something about it will remain on the report, for a while.
So this came out. This was after sending the first letter.
Correct.
Okay, so I will go with the second letter, the method of verification letter, because if they kept it on, if it was a collection, they kept it on the report. In their mind, is viewed as being verified, because otherwise, if it wasn't verified, they wouldn't have kept it on the report. They updated, but they said they're gonna keep it on there. Okay, now you need them to prove how they verified. So I would go straight into the method of verification letter.
Okay,
and then let me know
I'm having a hard time getting rid of the bankruptcy one too. That one is remaining, so I'll do the second letter with that. But I did get one of the collections. I did get deleted for another collection.
Good. That's what I'm talking about. Progress.
So I'll be sending some for that.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. Post it. You got to post those type of wins in a group to let people know that it's real. It's all about just going through the process and celebrating our progress. I don't care if your score went up 10 points, we celebrate. I don't care if you got one thing deleted, we celebrate. But staying persistent and applying pressure, because they're accustomed to people giving up. They know most people, they know it's a lot of people out here who learning about credit, but they know a lot of people ain't even gonna log into their back office to get access to the steps to fix their credit. So they winning in that area just because some people don't take action. Then when people do take action, they send in one letter and say, "Oh, it didn't work." No, you got to stick to it, because they are basing it on the fact that most people tap out, most people quit, and we don't want that to be you. So absolutely, keep applying pressure.
Thank you.
Good stuff.
Okay, so Michelle asked, when are repos considered outdated?
That depends on your state. Every state has a different statute of limitation. So yeah, it's something that you can Google, and it's a chart. Each state has a different level of statute of limitation. Some states is like 3 years. That's like on the low end, to a point where after 3 years, they can't sue. That's really what the statute of limitation represents. They can no longer sue to collect on their debt, and there's some other things that come along with it. But some states are treacherous, and they just keep it on there for longer, like 7 years, and I think the highest may be 10 years. And it depends on the type of account. So it's going to be a statute of limitation based on open-ended account, which would be like a credit card. Or it's going to be a statute of limitation for something like a mortgage, certain loans, things of that nature. Is going to be a statute of limitation for, other derogatory type items. So just look for your state what the statute of limitation is, and that'll pretty much answer that question for you.
She said she's in Maryland. It's been almost 10 years.
Oh yeah, so that should, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And with the max being 10 years, you probably have exceeded the statute of limitation. But it's a simple Google search. I got it in my office in the form of a booklet, but I ain't gonna run back there. So that's your homework, to find out what the statute of limitation is for each type of account in your state. But if it's been almost 10 years, I'm pretty sure you probably are in a state that, it may be beyond the statute of limitation, so they can't sue for that, but you can still go through this dispute process to get that thing deleted.
Yes. All right. She said, "Will do." Michelle on that homework. Go, Queen.
That's right.
Okay. Go ahead.
I do have a question. It's kind of a twofold question. So, bankruptcies. I have filed a Chapter 13, and then I stayed in it for about 4 months, and then I got out of it. So it says discharged, even though I never went through with the whole thing or anything like that. So is there a way to get that removed? One. But my question on that also is, I'm in the state of South Carolina. So if you have any type of collections, the IRS can take your taxes and apply it to those collections. But if they're inaccurate or whatever, is there a way to recoup that money back from the IRS?
Okay, good question. Have you already paid the IRS?
No, I'm in the process of filing my taxes now. So I'm trying to see if they're going to snatch me for the whatever's on my credit. But like, is there a way, if they do that, I'm in the process of getting these letters out and whatnot, is there a way to recoup that, for one? And two, is there a way to get this bankruptcy off of me? Because it's what's messing me up more than anything.
Gotcha. Now, if the IRS recoups, I'm not sure if it's a way to get it back from them. But in the meantime, what you definitely want to do is, have you already frozen the secondary bureaus?
No, I'm in the process of all of that now. I've just figured out how to get into my back office. I just requested all 17.32 million thousands of pages of my credit reports. So I just got all of those in. So I'm trying to now move into the next steps of freezing and doing all of that.
Gotcha. Go through, freeze those secondary bureaus, and then
Okay.
you may want to do a little more digging and go through the list of other third-party bureaus and see who holds on to like bankruptcy type information, because you might want to freeze a couple of the other ones, but you definitely want to freeze those secondary bureaus and go through the dispute process, because yes, you can get those bankruptcies deleted, but they do tend to be on there and linger even if it's been discharged. I've had clients like that, and I look and it was discharged and it just stick around and hang around. So we have to figure out different strategies to prove that they need to delete it, because the courts are not the ones that reported that information anyway. And most of the time, one of the things that's an error is the court name. Like if you look across, it might just say U.S. Bankruptcy Court. That's not that court real name. So that's worth disputing based on that error. But for starters, just to give you some simple things to do, freeze those secondary bureaus, find out if it may be showing up in some other secondary bureaus that's not in that top 4 list. Freeze it as well, but go ahead and get into that dispute process like yesterday, especially if you're in the process of filing your taxes. It's not a guarantee they're gonna take it, but I know you're concerned because you don't want them to, based on the state that you're in and what they're allowed to do. So I will freeze those secondaries, get those letters going out ASAP, and that would be my starting point. If you have any further questions after you've taken those steps, then we'll go from there.
Thank you.
Great question, no problem.
Okay, Akia said Chapter 7 discharged since 2015, and I'm still working on deletion, lingering for sure.
How have you already sent letters pertaining to that, Akia? And if
Yeah, just the first round. So I'm getting ready to send the second one. But I had like some prior credit repair agencies trying to get it deleted, and they wasn't able to delete them either. So I'm trying to do it myself. But yeah, it's definitely got a huge impact on my score for sure.
Yeah, keep going through the flow of those letters, sending it certified, notarized, and keep me posted on it on a monthly basis just to kind of see where we at with it. Because one of the things outside of those letters is just pointing out that those banks are. It's a couple of things to do. You freeze in certain secondary. Make sure you freeze those secondary bureaus. But one of the things that I've done for a client is you can mail. And this is getting kind of deep. I'm gonna just do just a vague explanation of it. But if we got to go into it at a later time after you've gone through the process, we can. But you can send a letter to the bankruptcy court with a self-addressed envelope, and basically you're asking them. It's a way to form the question up. I got the letter and everything, but it's basically asking, did they report it to the bureaus? And they're gonna let you know, no, they didn't. And you made it easy for them to tell you no, because you've already sent them a letter. All they got to do is, scribble in that they didn't send it to the bureaus, and just kind of letting it be known that it's public information. And then you've already self-addressed the envelope, so they're gonna mail it to you without having to pay anything. and then that's something you can use to your advantage if it gets to that. But for starters, just go through the normal flow, send that second round of letters before the weekend. Go ahead and
Okay.
set a goal that if you've already sent that first, has it been at least 30 days?
Yeah.
Since you sent it? Yeah, go ahead and come with that second one. Because this is the thing, once y'all get in motion and send that first round, you don't want to just wait and just,
Mhm.
I sent the first letter and now it's been 40 days, 50 days. No, you want to apply pressure. You want to, 35 days later, boom, you need to be sending that next letter because you kind of got it where you want it. You don't want
Okay.
it to get outside of the momentum phase. Every 35 days, you need to be firing off. If something that you wanted to get deleted didn't get deleted, they need hearing from you on a regular basis.
Sounds good. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna get it out. I need to get it all three.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And that's for everybody. So if y'all been sending out letters, don't let it linger because you didn't send out one letter and you think you're done. No. Each month, if what you didn't want to get accomplished didn't get accomplished, send that next letter. Like it's like clockwork. I got a notification if a client come through, I'm sending a letter immediately. Then that when it's time to refresh, I'm getting it out. So you want to keep that momentum. And sometimes I have to let clients know, hey, I don't want to lose momentum because it's certain things they haven't done that they needed to do. But yeah, definitely keep applying pressure every single month.
Okay, so Xenia has a question. She says, we have a car insurance debt for 258 that popped up from Progressive. However, we canceled the car insurance in July of 2023, and the collections agency picked it up in August saying that we owe. We have the collection notice that we sent to Progressive because we found a cheaper car insurance. Should we send disputes? Should we maybe dispute it along with our letter to send the credit bureaus to correct and take it off? We have our cancellation letter that we sent to Progressive.
Got you. Okay. So unless Progressive has something in a agreement that made it to where if you cancel, you still are entitled to pay this because of the term, because sometimes, like, for example, this is just the first example that comes to mind. Like if a person is renting, just because they found a cheaper apartment don't necessarily mean they can just jump to that cheaper apartment because there's something built in there that says that how you're breaking the lease. So it might have been something in the fine print that allows Progressive to run that play. However, the fact that it's been sold to a collection, I would dispute it based on that. So I would dispute the collection itself to the bureaus, and if the collection agency sent you something, I would send them a validation letter as well. So 2 areas are being focused on. You're hitting the bureaus up, and you sending the collection company a validation letter. Hey, I need you to prove that this belongs to me. Because it's a lot of questions on there. And most of the time they might have a piece of the information because they got it from Progressive, but they ain't gonna have everything. And then that can help you get it deleted as well. So that would be the angle I would take versus you sending the letter of the cancellation, because that can work against you if Progressive has the means to say, nah, you were in a contract, so you broke the contract. Who cares if you found a cheaper insurance? You know what I mean? So I don't want that to come back to bite you, and then they use that paperwork against you in validating the debt. So I would more so send the dispute letters that we have available and the debt validation letter directly to the collection company. Does that make
Right.
sense?
Yes, thank you so much, because actually the insurance ended during that term. So I was just trying to figure out why they sent it anyway, even though we had finished that particular term for that month at the end of the month. Yeah. So I was like, that's weird. But thank you. Great tips.
Okay. But yeah, still follow that same flow I just said. But yeah, that is interesting.
Awesome sauce. Thank you.
No problem, Queen.
Okay, I don't see anything else in the chat. I don't see any hands, and it is after 9.
All right, it's after 9. Do y'all have any other questions? Great question.
I do. I have one other question, scenario situation. Purchase a vehicle.
Okay.
Purchase a vehicle on December 9th. December 17th, the vehicle is hit. It is totaled. The car insurance and gap insurance pay the lender of the vehicle upwards of $21,000, even though the loan was initially for $20,000. Company gets paid $21,000. Now they're coming back saying I owe them $500 for interest that was accrued during the time when the car was totaled less than 10 days of having the vehicle. So it never even made it to its first 45-day payment. So I don't know where the interest is being accrued from. And number two, they were paid from both GAP and the insurance more than what the loan was actually for. What can I do? Because they keep harassing. I've gotten another vehicle since then, everything. But they keep harassing and saying I owe $500 for interest accrued. I don't know what kind of interest they're talking about. That would be $500. But
Gotcha.
I don't know what to do, but they just keep harassing.
So when you say harassing, what are they doing? Just calling?
Calling, sending letters, and then, you know, threatening of always is hurting your credit. I'm like, well, first of all, I've already got a 2024, and like, but like, how are you justifying this $500 when, first of all, my husband and I had to do all the legwork, calling GAP, getting this form and that form and this affidavit and yada yada, did all of their job, and then they get paid in less than 3 weeks, more than what the loan was actually for. And now they're coming back to my $500 of interest.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm glad you wasn't upside down. Because as soon as you start saying it and how soon it was after you got the vehicle, I'm thinking, okay, what the gap insurance gonna cover? Is it gonna be more? What's she upside down? So I'm glad you wasn't upside down, but it sounds like they're trying to milk it on a whole nother level. So keep all your documentation and records in the event that you have to use it. My question to you is that did something go to your credit as a result of it? Did something hit your credit report?
I haven't seen it as of yet.
Because it should be like it's a paid off vehicle. If they got out of their money, it should be showing like
no, they're still showing the account as open, and that's something we've discussed with them too. Like, why is this account still showing open and active if the vehicle has been totaled, everything's been closed out? You guys have sent a letter of closure. Why is it still showing on the account as open on my credit?
So keep up with those letters, because what you may end up having to do is sending it to the bureaus, letting them know, hey, this account should be closed, paid in full.
Okay.
And the documentation will prove this was the amount of the loan, this happened to the car, this was paid back to them, so it fulfilled the loan and some. You know, now the credit bureaus will look at it like, oh, okay, it's paid in full. And that can cause that account to show up on your profile as paid as agreed, paid in full. And, you know, it may have.
Okay, despite this little $500 mess they keep doing.
Yeah, but that's
okay.
I was like, if they're harassing, that sounds more like a cease and desist situation to where, you know, send them a cease and desist type letter.
Okay.
And get them to validate how you, because what they saying you owe in interest, and the interest accrued, and the interest, they just trying to milk it. So you might have to hit them with a cease and desist. Keep me informed on that, because I may need to look into it a little bit more. So I don't just
I sure will
leave you hanging. But keep me informed, just in case I can do some research and point you in the right direction of, okay, this is what you
I greatly appreciate it. Yeah, global lending, they trying to do some global mess.
Oh, so that's what global lending.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty popular. So I've seen them a time or two.
Okay, well, I greatly appreciate y'all, and y'all have a blessed evening.
Absolutely. You too. I appreciate y'all asking these questions and keeping them coming. And any other questions, we got time, we'll take another one if somebody has a question. If not, y'all can have y'all night. We'll wrap up. This is what it was all about, just asking personal questions. It's all about applying it. So anybody who hadn't got their letters out, set a goal to get them out before the weekend, and your weekend self will thank you. You'll be, doing what you do on the weekend, knowing that you got something done during the week. And that's a good thing.
I have a question. I'm sorry, I have a question.
Okay, talk to me.
Okay, approximately 7 years ago, I sent my son to this diesel mechanic school, and I took out the loan for him to go. It was $10,000. Within the first 3 weeks, he was put out of school. So the loan really didn't. The loan wasn't even sent over to them, but they're telling me I owe them $10,000, and it is on my credit report. I have sent letters to that. It came off, but it was put back on there. What do I do with that?
How long ago was it that it came back on there?
When I just recently checked, that's how I know it's back on there.
Okay. I got a letter that can help you with that. It's called a 5-day reinsertion letter. And basically it's a law that says if something is deleted and it's added back, their responsibility is to notify you within 5 days before adding it back, letting you know that it's going to be added back. 9 times out of 9.5, they don't do that. So you can send this letter saying, hey, this item was removed, but I noticed on this date it was added back. So now that positions them to have to remove it because they violated the law. It's an unlawful reinsertion. They added it back unlawfully, in other words. So I would need your, matter of fact, put your email in the chat for me, and I'm gonna give you access to that Google Doc. I've sent it out somewhat recently, so I should be able to find it pretty quick. Yep, I got it right here. So yeah, put your email in the chat, and I give you access to it.
I'm sorry, I think it went straight to Angela.
Nah, that's fine. She right here. She'll
Okay.
Who is it I'm speaking with?
Loretta.
Where you send it to? Did you send it in this chat or you put it in Facebook Messenger? I think she.
No. It's in the chat. It's in the chat. It says to me to Angela Smith, direct message.
Oh, direct message in Zoom.
Oh, okay.
You on the Zoom on your phone still?
Oh, here it is. Yep, I got it.
Okay.
You want me to type it in here?
I don't know, man.
Yeah, she's a new member. Hey, Loretta.
But Loretta, you've been following us for a minute, haven't you?
Yes.
I know that name. Yeah. I know that name. Certain names are familiar. I might not know the face, but if I see a name, sometimes I can envision the Facebook profile picture. All right, it should come to you in the form of an email as an attachment, in the form of a document. Even if you got to copy it and open it up with Google Docs, you should be able to. I wanted to send it to you in a format that you can edit it if necessary.
Okay.
But
Thank you so much.
No problem. The subject title is going to say 5-day reinsertion letter. All right, it should be heading your way within the next couple of minutes. And you'll send that. So basically what it has, the thing that you're going to edit, you're going to talk about the account that was removed, and you're going to show the date that you noticed. It doesn't matter, when it got added back, but the date that you noticed that it was back on your report, and then whatever date that you knew was no longer on your report. So you want to send that letter to all of the bureaus that it's showing up on. So if it's showing up on all 3, you'll duplicate that letter times 3 and send it to each bureau. If it's just on one, send it to one.
Gotcha. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Okay. I don't see anything else in the chat. I don't see any hands up. Let me make sure. Okay, cool. It looked like we got everybody. Hopefully you guys got some value from this call. If you did, drop a fire emoji in the chat for us. I see some people already hopped off, so they got their questions answered and said, I'm out.
Down and dash.
That's okay. That's okay. Good. All right. I see the fire in the chat. All right, guys. So we are going to go ahead and let you go, but not before the mission statement. We want every single person on this call to learn the mission statement, okay? Because you are a part of a wealthy team, and we want to speak that over everybody.
All right, absolutely. Hold on. I was trying to turn the camera on, but we got these notifications. I'm telling y'all gotta be. We're
gonna talk about that to the builders in a minute.
All right, let's wrap it up for those of you who are about to hop off. For anybody who's sticking around, this is for the people who want to make money. They want to build another stream of income, get paid on a weekly basis using MyEcon. See, of course, we help you better your credit, but now that you got access to the credit system, you can also make money by giving people access to the same system that you have access to. And MyEcon pays out 100% commission. They join for $39. You get paid 40. So it's really a little bit more than 100%. So if you want to earn income, stick around. We'll talk to you a little bit about some things that's working, things that we're doing, and things that you can do if you want to start securing a paycheck every single week. That being said, let's conclude with the mission statement. You see, we live in a world where we're conditioned for failure. And oftentimes we have been programmed or fooled into mediocrity. So people find themselves living like peasants instead of the royalty that they were meant to be. But you see here in the royalty movement, we see the king in you. I see that queen in you from start to finish. It's just time for you to take your seat on the throne. because this is where we uplift your character, your confidence, and your cash flow. As royalty, you should establish a solid financial foundation that will soon lead to your abundance and thriving empire. We want you to take your seat on the throne because you are royalty. Salute. Love y'all. See y'all on the next one. For those of you who are sticking around for the building, drop some money bags in the chat. Money bags in the chat if you're sticking around to talk about earning an additional stream of income. Let's get it. I see the money bags. I see the money bags. Oh, let me put my, I'm gonna step away for a second. Hang tight. Let me put this phone on the charger. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. All right, you getting your lunch ready, huh? Well, you make some of the best, you know. Peanut butter sandwich looks perfect. All right, let's jump straight in. For those of y'all, I want to respect and honor your time. Let's dive in. So I saw the money bags coming in. So like I stated, MyEcon positions you to better your finances. That way you can hit your financial goals, even if you never tell a soul. So it's not a requirement to use MyEcon to make money. It's optional, 100% optional. We don't want to force anybody to earn income. If you don't want to earn income, using MyEcon is perfectly fine. Benefit from the strategies. If you want to use MyEcon from a strategy standpoint and you got a side business, then MyEcon can help you keep more of your cash flow, because what some people do is they continue to run their side business, but they take the knowledge or the software and realize, oh, MyEcon positions me to get tax deductions and positions me to better understand my finances. And that's a key piece to the puzzle. But if you want to use MyEcon to also make money because you love helping people, you believe in the program because you're getting results, you believe in the network that you're connected to, which is the royalty movement and people in MyEcon, then it just makes sense. And that was where we found ourselves there. We found ourselves realizing, okay, not only can we benefit from the information for ourselves, why wouldn't we share this with somebody else? Wait, and you mean to tell me they're going to send us a paycheck because we put somebody else in position to win financially? So it's just a win-win-win. But that was just our perspective. Now, this is where I want to jump in at, because a lot of times people are in the builders group and they want to make money. And the builders group is basically, we got a messenger group inside of Facebook that allows us to communicate and specifically talk about money, posts that you can make, letting people know when people have enrolled on our team, just kind of celebrating one another. And it, you know, it tends to stay active because we celebrate success and celebrate people winning and come with different ideas and ways that you can build and posts that you can make, etc. But typically when somebody's in the builders group, they want to generate income. They want to make money. Now, when we look at the builder board and we see, okay, it's a certain amount of builders in the group. Let's just say it's 40 people in the group. If it's only 4 names on the list of people who have gotten somebody to sign up this week, then that means that either A, you're not all that interested in building or making money, or B, you don't know what you need to be doing in order to position yourself to get on the board. Now, this is where we came from. This is how we came up. And when I say came up, we've been in MyEcon for 10 years, but when we were first getting started, when we wasn't making the money that we wanted to make or getting signups like we wanted to get, we would ask questions. So you can't be the type of person who's not on the board and not asking questions. If we saying, hold on, it's other people who are getting results, getting action, getting people requesting information, getting signups, let me ask some questions. Let me raise my hand and see what it is that they're doing, or how I can switch up something that I'm doing, or figure out what I'm not doing, so I can make sure I'm on the board every single week. That's the place that we come from. We made sure that we ask questions. And sometimes the questions might be redundant. It might have seemed like we asked Mr. Stokes or Mr. Curry or, anybody, June Collier, Keith Tucker, anybody who was one of the OGs in MyEcon. It might have seemed like we was already asking these questions and we are just asking it again and again, but that's how you learn, repetition. So don't hesitate to ask the same question, because you might realize that you didn't do what it is that we gave you the answer for, because sometimes you just need that reminder. You know what? I haven't been increasing my friend count on Facebook. I'm still stuck with these same few hundred friends. That's the reason why my posts are not being seen or not growing, because I'm not constantly increasing the eyeballs. It might be something simple, but you need to hear it over and over again. But don't be the person who's not on the board and not asking questions. Because if you're not getting a paycheck from MyEcon on a weekly basis, then it's something that's missing. Either the hunger or you asking questions to figure out what it is that you can do, or you're not creating the content. Because right now we live in a place to where we're doing everything from our phone. Like, we're not having to hop on the phone and talk to people. We're able to create content, create certain posts, give some value, educate, post the flow that we teach people to post every day, which is the meat flow, basically motivation, education, anything of your choice, and testimonies. If you do that on a regular basis, you're going to have people who are going to ask for information, especially if you're growing your reach and your fan base. But if you do that on a regular basis, you should be on the board and getting signups on a regular basis. If not, that's what this opportunity is for. Ask those questions of how we can assist you. We'll let you know what we're doing, because we got a ton of leads that's been coming in. The Queen, she's been responding to people, every day, that's coming in from TikTok, coming in from Facebook, our normal Facebook page, our Facebook like page, as well as IG. Then we get some trickle in coming from YouTube as well. So we got at least 5 platforms that are churning out people who are interested in information. So obviously something that we're doing can help you. And we feel like we're sharing everything, especially with the new royalty site. And I may go over there here in a second, but with the new royalty site, it's very simple. We simplify things. Matter of fact, I will do that. Now get your questions ready, because hopefully if you're not on the board, you need to be asking a question. But with the new royalty site, what we've done is simplified the process, because sometimes people just join and they only want to better their credit. That's fine. But for those of you who are go-getters and you want to get on the board, you want to make MyEcon send you a check every single month, then we've got some videos that we recorded that can position you to do just that. That plus you asking all of the questions that you need to ask, there's no reason why you shouldn't be getting paid in MyEcon every single week, and that check going up and up and up. People who are making thousands of dollars per week, per month. Why not that be a part of your cash flow that can help you hit your goals that much faster? So the screen should be sharing shortly. Once you can see my screen, drop a 5 in the chat. It's low right now, so let me see. Let me know if you can see my screen. 5 in the chat if you can see my screen. All right, so this is the new royalty site, the royaltymovement.com. This is our training site, and basically it does 2 things. It puts you in a position to make money or better your credit. Now, if you're just here to better your credit, once you hit on that credit repair training, and this is exactly what your team will get as well. Everybody should have the new member welcome message that points them in the direction of the royaltymovement.com. It's only one link. If they only want to join for credit, then guess what? They can click that link, and we pretty much redirect them to going into their own MyEcon back office and accessing the DIY system, same way we showed you earlier in this training. We point them in the direction of joining our Facebook group, because that's where they're going to be notified and know what's going on and stay in the loop. We point them in the direction of joining the most recent credit support group. We're going to update that link every time we have to join or create another credit group. Right now we're up to like 6, but then when we go into the 7th group, then that link will change, so they'll be added to the 7th group. But you want your team doing this, so that's the easy steps of what happens when they click on the credit repair training. However, for those of you who want to learn how to earn, you will click that link, and now we have a couple other things broken down to let you know. Listen, it's how you log into your MyEcon back office, or this is an overview of what your membership entails, getting started, understanding your MyEcon business. Then move to step 2, setting up your MyEcon business. Boom. So we give you one thing to do, then we don't reveal what the next thing is until you're done with that. So you hit the move to step 2. We break down the compensation plan, show you how that works. And every chance we give you an opportunity to log in your MyEcon back office. So there's no excuses of not knowing how to get access to your back office. The link is everywhere. Then once you're done with that, boom, let's talk about launching your MyEcon business. Now we finna get into the nitty gritty of how to grow your business. Because if your business don't have leads coming in, and leads is just another way to say people asking for information on what it is that you do. If your business doesn't have any lead flow, then it's a dying business. Leads and people asking for more information is the lifeblood of your business. If you don't have people asking for more information, you have a dying business. Your business is not a business. It's just, almost a hobby. You don't want to be in that position. You want to be in a position to where you can get tax deductions from this and you're making money on a consistent basis. But this shows you how to get set up for success. You see the point in that top video, she's breaking it down, showing you this is the beginning. Boom, making content. And better believe me, her content, she does numbers. When she, posts videos, she's getting leads galore. She's worth listening to. Getting sales, breaking that all down. And this goes all the way down to the end of the training. And then we even got messaging scripts so you'll know how to communicate with people when they ask for more information. So it's really simple. Take the time out, check out these videos if you have not, because it's setting you up for success and positioning you to turn your social media platform into something that pays you. We haven't been on social media just for leisure in a long time, if ever. We're on there to build. It's strictly business for us. And now we got Facebook sending us paychecks, IG sending paychecks through Meta as well, YouTube sending paychecks. So people are paying us to market our business. And if you follow these steps, the platforms, the social media platforms will be paying you as well. And MyEcon will be paying you as well. So this positions you to create a couple of different income streams just by being coachable, just by following the steps. That's all I got. I just wanted to do that brief overview, but do not be the person that's not on the board and not ask questions. Because when we came in the game, we was asking all the questions, figuring out, okay, what do we do about this? Or how do we do this? And we even did role plays and figuring out how to respond. This when we hopping on the phone and figuring out what's the best thing to say. That's why we got good at being able to shoot from the hip. Like y'all was asking all kind of credit questions that I never heard. But over time, you get so used to realizing that some of the questions are the same questions and you know how to combat it. So all the time we're back and forth. Like she might say, hey, how would you respond to this? She got her own way she would respond, but she might want to know how I would respond or vice versa. So we've been doing this for so long that we get better at it. And now instead of us having to hop on the phone and do that, we're able to do it inside of the messengers or, the Facebook Messenger, things of that nature. And we give you scripts on things that have worked for us. But we laid it all out, made it simple, made it plain, but ask any questions that you can, because that's how we came up in the game, asking all the questions that we could so we can get better and better. And eventually, if you ask enough questions, then you get into a position to where you can answer questions. So you don't get to a place where you can answer questions and help other people unless you've been that student who has asked the questions and now you've implemented the answers that you've gotten, and now you can help somebody else. That's what Each One Teach One is all about. You've been a student learning, now you're able to teach and continue to learn, but also teach those who are where you once were. All right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hold on, let me turn that camera on.
Oh no, that's good.
Okay. You Gucci.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So I do see some new names on here. So I just wanted to address them and say hi and welcome. I see Ann, Aisha. I don't know who the iPhone user is, but Michelle, Cheryl, Tawana. I know all of you guys are new and you may just be interested in just listening in to see how you can make money with this opportunity. Now, I did do a video earlier where I talked about, according to Forbes, the digital marketing industry, do y'all know that it is set to be the #1 highest paid industry in 2024? So, you have to understand that you really have your hands on an opportunity that's exploding. Y'all, right now, I'm seeing people talk about credit repair that I ain't never seen talk about credit repair. And I'm like, when did you get in this industry? People are literally creating ebooks using AI. They're giving away credit letters. Like they're literally doing their best to get in this industry. But I am going to say this very confidently, still nothing compares to MyEcon. And I firmly believe that, because people can give away letters and ebooks all day long, but if you're not giving any guidance to go along with that, then you're literally just giving it away. Okay, you're literally just giving it away, but you're not giving people anything to go with it. So that's where MyEcon really has an advantage. And the fact that we've been in business for 18 years, 17, 18 years now is insane, right? That's something that we can stand on, opposed to a person just now entering the industry. Now, I am going to tell you this, because so many people are looking for credit repair, Those people offering them ebooks and giving away letters and whatever else, they're still winning. You better believe. I literally watched a girl make close to 6 figures in a week in this credit repair industry, just doing DIY. So there is a lot of power in it. And again, you have the upper hand because ours is super inexpensive. It comes with the guidance. It comes with the support groups. It comes with calls like this. Okay, so for my new people on here, you know, first and foremost, you have to understand what we offer. MyEcon is a financial literacy company, okay? We deal with personal finances. Personal financial success is what we're all about. That includes a debt elimination system, and you'll see this as you go through your website and as you go through the trainings, debt elimination, retirement planning, investment education. There's videos by multimillionaires teaching you how to invest, the credit repair system, W-4 knowledge so that you're not being overtaxed. More W-4 knowledge, because if you are building MyEcon as a business, you can learn how to legally write things off on your taxes to maximize your refund or to keep you from owing or lower the amount that you owe, right? It works multiple ways. So that's what you have access to. All that we do to make money in MyEcon is we spread the word about that. But what we decided to do is instead of, you know, talking about debt elimination and retirement and W-4 and all of that, which we've done it all over the years, credit repair has been the #1 thing that people are looking for. So we just lead with the credit repair. So we have scripts that you can copy and paste on your page. We have videos that you can duplicate. And you're talking about credit repair and you're saying, hey, I have this program that includes all of the letters. Who's interested, right? And when you make little promotional posts like that and you get people started, you get paid. And that is the gist of what we do. There's no rules. That sounds crazy. There's no rules. You have no boss. I'm not your boss. I'm not here to tell you what to do. Marcus is not your boss. You are an independent contractor, right? 1099. So if you don't show up, if you don't put in the work, you don't get paid, right? It's similar to a job, but it's a little bit more harsh, right? Because you're not clocking in. You have to really hold yourself accountable and create your own schedule and you know, create your own process and flow. That is all 100% on you as an entrepreneur. Okay, so I want to throw that out there, but there's no rules to this. You can be as creative as you want with your marketing. So if your approach as a new person is, you know what, while I'm fixing my credit, what if I show my audience everything that I'm doing step by step? I think that's a good approach, okay? Because it's like you're vlogging, you're documenting everything that you're doing. Do a mixture of going live and posting videos and making posts about your journey, okay? Another thing that you can do as a new person is you can leverage other people's testimonies. We share testimonies literally almost every day on our page. Use those testimonies because people are seeing results. People are getting houses. People are getting cars. We have an entire album in the Royalty Movement Facebook group of testimonies of people that this company has benefited. You can post those on your page. It can result in you getting paid. I'm going to be honest. The main 2 things that we do to make money in MyEcon is short videos and the copy and paste post. Those 2 things have been paying us an additional $500 to $1,000 a week. Residual check was almost $1,000 extra. Okay. So I'm telling you the potential here. It is a lot of money, and we're right now just running MyEcon part-time. So just think about the income that you can be bringing in. Be as creative as you want. If you decide, you know what, I'm not really into this online thing, I make more connections outside. Well, get outside, sis. Right? Get you some business cards, get you some flyers, do whatever you have to do. Network, attend networking events. Whatever you do in your element, do that. You can do whatever you want to promote this business, to get the information out. And then when people join, you get paid. Right now, MyEcon is offering 100% commission. So when you enroll somebody for $39, you get paid $40. What? $40 per person, okay? Then you have your residual check, which depends on your rank. Okay, we won't go too deep into that, but we do have ranks with the company. The very first rank is EVP Gold. So for my new members on here, EVP Gold is only 2 members, 2 new members. How fast can we hit 2 new members? How fast can we find 2 people who want to fix their credit, who want to buy a house, who want to upgrade their lifestyle, upgrade their vehicle? Probably pretty fast. You could probably do that tonight, but I'm not going to pressure you. I'm going to give you to Friday. Right? I'm just going to challenge you just to see, because that's what this is all about. If you want to make money, you have to open up your mouth. You have to talk and let people know that you're in business. And so we do a lot of video content. Let me tell you this. We do 8-second videos. 7 to 8-second videos pay us. Not only does MyEcon pay us, Facebook pays us, Instagram pays us, TikTok pays us, YouTube pays us for these little bitty videos that we're doing promoting MyEcon. That's multiple streams of income that you're making off of one service, credit repair, right? MyEcon, that's your product, that's your service, and you're getting paid not only weekly, but every single month. So the income potential is huge. There's no overhead. You're not paying for products that you got to store in the garage. None of that. You just pay $40 a month to keep your website active. And you can make as much money as you want. There's no salary cap. Literally, you can make as much money as you want. If you say, I'm about to get 100 people, well, sis, go get you 100 people, because that's a good $4,000 that you're going to bring into your household. And that's just upfront income, right? Residuals is even more. So, I mean, just keep that in mind. Again, that the income potential is really huge. There's no rules. However, we teach you some processes that worked for us. We have some really easy strategies out right now. We have on TikTok, that's where we create a lot of our videos, and you'll see this in the training. I don't want to take you too fast. We have this new, what we call the template strategy, where TikTok came out with this cool feature, y'all. If I do a video, Xenia can go on my page and click use template, and it will literally tell her, like if my video was 8 seconds, it will say upload an 8-second video. And when she uploads her 8-second video, which is already saved into her phone, it's going to take the music that I use in my video. It's going to take all of the words that I put on that video, and it's going to transfer it to her video. Who can do that? I mean, you're not even making the video from scratch, is what I'm telling you. You're not sitting here typing up all of the words. The words are already typed up for you because you literally just took it off of my video. You use the same music. So oftentimes you'll see me dropping videos saying, hey, y'all, this is what I just posted. If you want to go grab the template, or I might say this video went viral. If you want to go grab the template. But again, I can't make you do anything. It is 100% up to you. If you're hungry, you're going to be grabbing them templates. If you ain't really tripping about the money like that, then, you know, you'll just kind of keep doing what you're doing, or you'll try to wing it. But I'm literally just teaching you how easy it is. Me and Marcus, we are stern on, if you see a post on our page doing well, or if you just like a post on our page, take it. You can have it. It's yours. Copy and paste it, though. Do not share it for my new members. Do not share. You do not want to be what I call a super sharer, okay? Where you go to a person's page and you see all they're doing is sharing other people's content. If all you're doing is sharing other people's content, then I don't want to talk to you. I want to talk to them. Obviously, they're the experts, and that's how people are going to look at it. So keep that in mind. If you see anything that we've posted, you can have it. It's yours. You don't have to ask. Copy and paste, unless it's something personal. That would be a little weird. Okay. And that's what I have for new members. So before we let y'all go, I'm gonna open it up to see if anybody has any questions. Guys, when we ask this, you know, I know Marcus said this, I know I say this all the time. If you're not seeing the income that you want to see, if you're not on the board, obviously something isn't working. Let's see if we can figure it out. But we don't know if you don't ask. I mean, we're not mind readers, nor are we going to force you to talk, okay? So if you have any questions, if you want to see the scripts live,
I will pull up my inbox and I'll show it to you. If you want to see how the template feature works, I might not be able to do it on my tablet, but I can try. Or I could connect my phone really quick and I can show you that. If your page is dry, we talked about this in the new builders group today. Guys, if you only have a little bitty following, it's not all about the followers, but it is. You know what I'm saying? It's not, but it is. Because, I mean, who's going to be watching? Yes, social media has a way of getting your videos out to people that you are not friends with. That's what going viral is, right? It just exploded and all of these strangers are seeing you and now they're following you. That's what that is. However, you do want some action going on your page. If you have under 1,000 friends, under 1,000 followers, you might have a hard time, but it's no big deal if you're willing to learn. We can teach you how to build that up, but you are going to have to be consistent. I was explaining this earlier. If your following is really little, you need to post more. Videos is what will grow your following like crazy. Okay, I stand on that. So 7 to 8 second videos. Again, we got templates. We make it super easy for you. Instead of you posting only 1 to 2 times a day, I need you to post 3 to 4 videos a day until you build up your page. Just to teach you the value in this, I have done videos that have gone viral. I go viral a lot, but last month was super overwhelming for me because there were days where I gained 1,000 followers. There were days where I did more than 1,000 followers, and friend requests coming in and inbox messages. So one video can literally change your entire page, but you got to get there. There was a stat, I don't know the statistics, but it's a certain amount of videos. After posting a certain amount of videos, the ratio of you going viral, I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was 30, 40 videos. I just say be consistent. 3 to 4 videos until you get where you want. If you ain't at 1,000 followers, I need you to put in that work. What is the name of your Instagram, TikTok page to copy the template? Yes, please show how it works. Okay, Cheryl, tell me how new you are. How long have you been with the company? And let me know if you have completed the trainings on theroyaltymovement.com. You can drop it in the chat. I have my phone connected too. And I am pulling up our Instagram. Okay, our handle on social media is Mr. and Mrs. Smith Official. Mr. and Mrs. Smith Official on all platforms. It's probably going to start playing, so give me a second. All right, there we go. Okay, so can y'all see? Oh, there we go. Okay, so this is our page, Mr. and Mrs. Smith Official. And as you can see, just a whole bunch of videos, right? We're super consistent. I'm trying to make sure. There we go. Okay, so you see some videos are small, some videos are big. I kind of explained all of this in the training, so I don't want to go over what's in the training videos already, but we use TikTok kind of like as a buffer. It is very important for you to have a TikTok channel. And the way that we use TikTok is we create our videos on TikTok because of all of the cool features, because of all of the trending sounds, because of how easy it is to build a following. If you look, you see we have 147,000 followers on TikTok. It's super easy to grow on TikTok. So we start on TikTok, but we don't end on TikTok, if that makes sense. So like, for example, on TikTok, if people are interested in what you offer, you cannot send them the link like you can on Facebook or like you can on Instagram because they don't allow links in the DM. So you have to make sure your Instagram is connected and tell them to DM you on Instagram so that you can send the information there. I teach all of that in the training. Don't worry. I don't want to overwhelm you guys. But as far as the template strategy, okay, let me see. I couldn't mute, but I have been a member since December. Welcome, Queen. I'm still working on the credit repair modules, but trying to work my way up to make it passive. Yeah, listen, here's the thing. If it's not too much for you, Cheryl, you can do both. You can do both. Okay? You can do both. You can be fixing your credit, because you got to understand fixing your credit isn't an everyday thing. Making money, however, is an everyday thing. And so that can give you something to do while you're waiting on the credit bureaus to respond back, right? So you can do both. That's what we did. That's what a lot of people do. They come in for credit, but you even got to wait 30 days for them to respond. You can sit around and kind of, wait, or you could be making money while you wait. So I call it earn while you learn. But welcome. Yeah, no problem. And that's what we're here for. So let me go to one of my recent videos. I'll go to this one. Okay, I said I didn't know if it'll let me do it on my tablet, and it's looking like it's not.
Template option.
Yeah, the template option. So I will have to, let me connect my phone real quick. Switch. And I think this is make host. Okay.
In there.
All right, cool. So we are now on my phone. And so if I go to TikTok, I knew something was gonna pop up. So if I go to, let's go to that same video, but now you see, do you see where that box is that says green eyes for brown eyes? And it has a number 2. Do y'all see that? Right above where it shows our handle, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Say yes in the chat, because I don't want to go too fast. Okay, cool. So, and sorry, y'all, I do not know how to turn off the notifications. So y'all gonna see them coming through at the top. Just try to disregard. If I click that where it says 2, do you see where it says use template? So when I click on use template, now let's watch the video first. Let's watch the video first. Can y'all hear the music? Probably can't hear the music, huh? Could y'all hear that? Okay, they said no.
I forgot what the setting is.
Oh, you know what? I think
more than something simple.
I think it's me. I have my sound turned off since we were sitting right here by each other. So let me turn, and I have to unmute. Sorry, y'all. Okay. You might be able to hear it now. Let's try it again. Did y'all hear that that time? Really? Okay. Hold on. Let's do it one more time. Hold on. Okay, y'all heard it that time. Okay, go. Sorry. Okay, so you see how simple that video was. I was literally in the library. I was walking. The video was only about 8 seconds. I don't know if y'all thought I was exaggerating when I said our videos are literally 7 to 8 seconds. So you just saw it was me walking. So I'm in the library and I was like, hey, Marcus, real quick, since I'm dressed today, give me some quick content. And so he recorded this video. So I put the words with it. If Miss Cheryl click on use template, okay? And click that little camera. You see the first thing that it says is add clips. And it's telling you in that little square that my video was 8.2 seconds. Hold on, I'm hearing the echo, y'all. Let me mute this back out. There we go. It says that the video in that little square right there was 8.2 seconds. So when you upload your clip, you want it to be around the same length if you want all of those words to pop up on the screen. If it's a shorter video, it might still pop up, but you might have to make some more adjustments, adjust the time a little bit more to speed it up, right? But if you're brand new, I say do it exactly as it is. So I am going to click add clips, and then I'm going to go to my videos. And when I go to my videos, I'm just gonna pick something random that I recently recorded. Because look, let me show y'all another thing. If you look at the top 5 videos, you see how I'm wearing the exact same outfit and I just recorded quick 7, 8, 9 second videos? This is what I was talking about earlier to my new builders. It's called bulk recording. Because these are only 8 second, 9 second, 7 second videos, you can do multiple of them at once. If you're dressed, man, get you some quick selfie videos and just save them to your phone because you can use those later. I try to do that every time I'm dressed. And we have a designated time for doing that every Sunday. We try to dedicate about an hour to just recording content. We might go downtown in our city and just record little clips back to back to back. We might be pointing, we might be walking, we might be sitting, we might be laughing, we might be eating. We're recording little snippets and saving them to our phone to use throughout the week. So I'm gonna use this one. Okay, see me just walking. So I'm gonna select that and I'm gonna hit next. Do y'all see that? Do y'all see what just happened? I literally did a video in 3 seconds. So I'm gonna just discard that. But it's literally that easy. Literally that easy. Let me know if y'all think that's easy. If you're brand new, if you think that's easy, drop that in the chat. Yeah, super cool, right? So it makes it so simple for a brand new person to come in and start making money. If you want to make money tonight, you can. It's not, I don't know what to say. I don't know what kind of video to do. No, the video is already done. I just need your face on it, right? It's like we white labeling it. So I wanted to show you that. Do we have any other questions? Like about anything else, about the scripts, about y'all want to see something on Facebook? Let me know before we hang up.
Can you show me how you do the ones with the images of like a testimony or
Okay,
with the
like the one I did
letters?
earlier?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you. I got you. Let me show my screen again.
And the reason why I
Okay,
say
so if I go back to TikTok, and if I want to do, matter of fact, I'll be going to this girl, Felicia Allen. Y'all know she's #1 right now in the March Madness promotion. She's doing her thing. I go to her page and get some inspiration. Let me see if she has one or she's showing a testimony. Okay, so like this. Okay, so I'm gonna click use template on her video. And you see her video was only 5 seconds. So I'm gonna hit add clip. I'm gonna go back to my videos. I'm just gonna use that same one. I'm gonna hit next. Now you see how big this is? This might happen, y'all. All you gotta do is squeeze it in. Squeeze it in. If it's tall like that, you could tap it. You can hit edit. And just that little bar on the left-hand side, you can make that smaller. Y'all see that? It was that quick. Now, if I wanted to, okay, I'm gonna take the sound off. Okay. Y'all see how fast that was? So after I do that, Akia, what you'll do on the right-hand side over here, it says stickers. When you click stickers, the very first icon on the left that has the photo, now it's gonna pull up all of my pictures in my phone. And one thing about me, I have a whole album of testimonies, okay? I got a whole album of just selfies. It is what it is. I'm a content creator. So I click on my testimonies, and let's say I wanted to, since we're talking about Felicia, I'll go to her. Y'all, Felicia made $5,000 in my econ last week. So shout out to her. Okay, over 500 new members that she's brought on. So I'm just gonna hit okay. So you see it put her picture in the middle of the screen. If I tap her picture and click set duration, I can time when that picture pops up. So you just move this little thing right here. It'll let you know how many seconds it stays on the screen. So watch this. See that? Does that answer your question?
Actually, when I do mine, for some unknown reason, I just can't figure it out yet. It's like the words is coming like behind the picture.
Okay, so if the words, so you see how it said thank me later, and then, well, it was just on top, but it seemed like the first time it was on the bottom. Sometimes you can tap it and you can make it move. Another thing you can do is just move the words. So,
Okay.
for example, if I wanted to just do the thank me later somewhere over here out of the way, I can do that. Yeah, that's what I would suggest, really. Sometimes you can
Okay.
tap it, but it is a little funny acting sometimes. So
Okay.
yeah, just
Okay.
restructure it.
I thought I was tripping, but yeah. So
Yep.
yeah,
And
and
the kid,
I did do one like that where I just moved the words to the side or something like that. But I kind of wanted to, to get it exactly like how you had it, how or anyone that might have it set up, and I just can't get it.
yeah, but another thing you can do is you can move the picture. Like, you can make the picture bigger or smaller if you wanted to do it exactly. So like the way that she had hers this time, this picture was covering the entire screen. So it didn't pop up. She didn't put a timer on it. It was there the entire time, and she was kind of in the background. So it was like that. And then it really depends on also the testimony that you're using. Love you. Love you. Okay. If the testimony already has words on it, it's kind of going to conflict with the words in the video. So you want to make sure you crop those off, or, kind of do what you have to do with that.
Okay.
Another thing that I wanted to show you, Akia, while I have you, some of your words, like when you do a list, I was telling you they were kind of cut off.
Yeah.
Let me show you this. Let me turn this picture off first. I'm going to delete it. Okay. So say you had a list. Do you see how when I tap the words and I drag towards the bottom, do you see really faint where it shows my username and my caption?
Yeah.
You see it down there at the bottom?
Yeah.
Okay, it's a little hard to see. But when you start adjusting your words, it's basically trying to prevent you from posting down here. You can still do it, but you can see if it's going to be cut off or not, because as you're dragging, that pops up at the very bottom. Same thing with over on the right-hand side. You see how if I start dragging to the right-hand side, it shows you our picture, the heart, the comment, the share. You see that over there?
Okay.
Because it doesn't want you to get too far over here. It's basically letting you know if you get over here, it's going to be covered up by the icons over here. So you can only use this open space.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, that's why I was saying I kind of got to tighten it up a little bit more, bringing it in closer. Because yeah. And yeah. I got it now. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Anybody else? Any questions about TikTok? So a lot of our videos, y'all, you can use the template. You can use the template. We got a lot of them. that do very well. Now, let me show y'all one more thing. Just because a video might not do well on TikTok does not mean it might not do well somewhere else. Because if you notice, like some of these videos, 300 views, 200 views, we still get that. Even though right here you see 8,000 views, 5,000 views, 1,300 views, you see some commas, but it's still nothing compared to what we might see with some of our other pages. So like, for example, on our Instagram, which has really, really, really been exploding, you'll see that same video of me at the library did almost 2,000 views and it's still growing. Look at all of the commas that you see. You see the big difference? We're on TikTok, it was 200 and 300, but over here, 1,100, 1,400, 2,800, 2,000. Marcus has been going viral lately. This video right here, you see he did 21,000 views. This video is going crazy. Look at the numbers on the side. 932 likes, 300 comments, 347 shares. So when you go viral, guys, you will go viral and you need to be in position. So that's what I'm really trying to prepare you for. Some people want the money, but are you really ready for what it takes to get that money, right? Because you will be busy. You see a lot of commas on our page. We have gone viral a lot. I had a lot of viral videos. Some of them I pinned to the top of this page, but you never know where it's going to go viral. If not here, it might go viral on Facebook because you're posting that video everywhere. You're posting on all of the main 3 platforms. So if I go to my reels, you'll see some low views and you'll see some high views. Like me at the movies, that did 1,500. You see 1,200, 1,100. But if you keep going, you see 3,000, 2,000, 18,000 right here, 16,000 right here. So we get a lot of action. And this is just one of our pages. I can keep going. I can show you million views. I can show you, like you see 2 more right here, 15,000, 28,000, 17,000. It was one time where I was literally just back to back to back going viral. And I was like, okay, it's a little bit overwhelming because you get so many messages and so much action when you do. So study those videos. If you have not watched all of the videos on the royaltymovement.com, do it. It's worth it. Okay, because we're showing you how to really get paid. Okay, let me see if there's any other questions. This is also interesting. Yes. Stick with us, and we will definitely show you something new. And y'all, as I stated in the beginning, digital marketing, this is the new wave. This is how people are promoting their businesses online. There are big companies that's literally paying people to do these short videos for their company online. And they're paying really, really good. That's called a sponsorship deal. So this is the new wave. So even if it's something that's new to you, let me wipe off my screen. Even if it's something that is just like completely new to you, I think it's worth learning. I know that it's worth learning because when I tell you, you can literally make more money than you were making on a job or that you're currently making on a job. I mean that. Like we make 3, 4, 5 times what we were making when we were working jobs. And we had what people considered the good corporate jobs with benefits. And we make it all from home in pajamas. Okay. So it's worth it. It's worth it to learn. It's worth it to ask questions. It's worth it to like really be engaged, dedicate the time, hop on these calls, and be in the group and really like socializing and just really, really understanding what's going on. Okay. Anybody else? Let me check the chat. I'm gonna let y'all go because I know it's kind of late. Marketing does pay, absolutely. So Nichelle and Cheryl, how are you preparing for a possible TikTok ban? I'm still active on Facebook and Instagram, so I'm not worried about it. Because once you learn how to make short content, I mean, nothing can stop you. You can make short content on any platform. I'm gonna miss TikTok.
But if they ban it, I'll be all right. I'm just keeping it real with you. I will be all right because I can use the exact same strategies on other platforms. It might be a little tougher. I do agree that TikTok is easier to create the videos and things like that, but it'll be okay. Hopefully they don't get banned though. It's a lot of money on TikTok. Okay. Anybody else? So Nichelle and Cheryl, make sure that we're connected on social media. You saw my page, Angela McKenzie Smith. Make sure you're also connected with our page together, which is Marcus Angela Smith. We can easily connect that if you're in any of the chats. Make sure you send us friend requests and we'll get it accepted. Good. If you are really honestly ready for this challenge, you want to start doing some content, you're really serious about attempting to make some money by Friday, we have what we call our builders group. Our builders group is a little chat group, kind of like our credit group, but this time we're not talking about credit, we're talking about money. And you too, if you're interested, I can add you to our builders group. Now, listen, if I add you to this builders group, I'm gonna hold you accountable. I want to see you being social on social media, okay? I want you making posts. I'm gonna guide you along the way, so you don't have to worry about that. If you get people interested, you can say, Angela, I got people commenting, they're saying they're interested. What do I do? That's what I want. That's what I want you to ask. And I'm gonna say, girl, copy and paste this. Okay, do this next, do this. So I'm gonna guide you every step of the way. Me and some of the other leaders in the group, we can help you step by step with the scripts, the videos, everything. If you're interested, if you're up for the challenge, if you're ready for this, I will get you added to the builders group tonight. And I'm gonna put you to the test. My goal is to help you get 2 new people by Friday. Do we have to use our personal pages? That's a good question, Nichelle. Yes and no. Okay, let me tell you this. And I'm gonna answer the no first. If you want to set up a new page, I am going to tell you that is completely up to you, but it is going to be about 5 times harder. Because when, you got to understand, a brand new Facebook page in 2024, that has scam written all over it in people's minds, okay? So you're going to have to do a lot more work to build up that credibility. Think about it. This page has no pictures, no posts, no nothing. It's a brand new page and they're talking about credit repair and making money. Just think about how that looks and think about how that sounds if it was you, right? Would you trust that page? You're going to be like, this person ain't got no friends. This person only got 20 friends in 2024. No, you're going to question that. It's going to be like a red flag. That is why we recommend using your personal page. I do highly recommend using your personal page because you don't have to start over. You can start promoting and you can make money and you already have a built-in audience of people that you have been growing with for years. You don't want to introduce them to credit repair? You don't think, they need it or that they may be interested? It's your family and friends that you want to talk to first, to be honest. That's a good rule of thumb. Let everybody know. And even if your family isn't interested, they may know people who are, right? You know how word of mouth marketing works. So I highly recommend not setting up a new page, using the existing page that you have, unless it's like, you got like a stalker or, something serious. Then I would recommend setting up a new page, but I wouldn't. And the fact that, like, if you're worried, some people ask that because they're worried about like haters, family and friends who might hate on them, because that's what they do, right? There's a way that you can weed them out, right? There's a way that you can silence them. There is of course you can unfriend them. I mean, you don't have to be friends with them on social media. You can also, it's like as you build this business, the strangers are going to start showing you more love, showing you more support, to where your family and friends, they just gonna be watching like, oh my gosh, what is Nichelle doing? She got all these people interested in her business, right? So they're just kind of going to be watching. And after a while, you might not even see them, right? They might get diluted by all of the new friends that you're adding. If you're constantly adding new friends and stuff every day, that's really not, anything for you to worry about. So I hope that answered your question. I know I was kind of long. Okay, cool. All right. Okay, y'all, so I'm going to go ahead and let you all go. I'm going to close it out again with the mission statement. And Nichelle and Cheryl, if you're interested in making money, you don't have to let me know on this call. You can send me a text. You can send me an inbox. Let me know if you want to be added to the builders group. And if you're confident, or if you're willing to learn how you can make money and get 2 new people, 2 new members, that will secure your first check of $80 next Friday. Okay, $80 because you get 100% commission, remember? Let me know if you're interested and I'll get you added to that group tonight or tomorrow. All right, y'all. So I'm going to close it out. You see, we live in a world where we are conditioned for failure. And oftentimes we have been programmed or fooled into mediocrity. So people find themselves living like peasants instead of the royalty that they were meant to be. But you see, here in the royalty movement, we see the king in you. We see the queen in you from start to finish. It's just time for you to take your seat on the throne, because this is where we uplift your character, your confidence, and your cash flow. As royalty, you should establish a solid financial foundation that will soon lead to your abundance and thriving empire. Take your seat on the throne. You are royalty. Salute. All right, y'all. Have a good night. Love y'all. Let's get this money. All right, Cheryl, make sure we're connected on social media, okay? And shoot me your inbox.